Sullivan. I'm going to be giving a persuasive speech on why student athletes should be paid. How would you like to work for a billion-dollar company and not be compensated for your efforts? Well, that's exactly what thousands of student athletes across the country are dealing with. How many times have you heard of a college athlete being paid under the table or receiving gifts from boosters or sports agents, and in turn being disqualified from competing with their team? Many college athletes across the U.S. put in long hours on and off the field as part of their obligation of a student athlete. Those who are part of a collegiate program still have to maintain a certain amount of credit hours and keep track of all coursework for classes, while maintaining and keeping themselves up and keeping themselves in shape to be able to compete with their team. Why shouldn't these student athletes be compensated for the time that they are dedicating to help their school? As a former high school athlete and a current college student myself, I can understand the struggle and commitment involved in playing sports at the collegiate level. And while the NCAA thinks that a scholarship is enough compensation for these kids, it simply is not enough. Most athletic scholarships aren't enough to help cover the basic needs of student athletes, other than room and board. Over the years, the NCAA has done much to contradict its own idea of what a student athlete is. For example, when they changed their awarded 4-year scholarship to a 1-year renewable scholarship. According to Roy Humer, president of the National College Players Association, the average out-of-pocket cost for a football subdivision student athlete is between $900 and $6,000 a year, depending on the school. The National Collegiate Athletic Association, who oversees more than 23 sports at 1,200 schools across the U.S., continues to argue that student athletes should not get salaries and state that paying them would undermine the purpose of college and student athletes getting an education. However, with the NCAA bringing in $982 million in revenue in 2014, and not one penny of those profits going to the people that had a direct hand at paying and bringing in those dollars, it is time to look at compensating those employees. College athletics has become a big business in recent years. With mega TV deals, large coaching salaries, and money being donated by boosters to their alma mater's athletic program, there is enough money available to pay student athletes. Colleges, especially Division I schools, have thousands of fans that pay money to watch the players of their favorite school compete, with ticket prices for big games selling for $250 or more. Not to mention the boosters that are donating millions of dollars into a school's athletic program. National television deals between Division I athletics, such as the Southeastern Conference, are partnered with ESPN to form the league's own television channel that highlights only the schools associated with the conference. In 2013, ESPN signed a contract worth $2 billion over a 15-year span with the conference, according to SEC Commissioner Mike Silver. The NCAA also makes money from their annual bowl games in football, for their March Madness basketball tournament, and their College World Series for baseball, which in total bring in more than $180 million a year from ticket sales alone. Compensating these athletes with these dollars will cost the NCAA a mere $22 million a year, according to Brian Owen, a leading economist who was a part of a civil suit against the NCAA in 2014, led by the Northwestern University Wildcats. College athletes should be paid for participating in college sports to help them financially accommodate expenses not covered by their scholarships. As stated above, the average bowl subdivision football player out-of-pocket cost is between $957 and $6,000 a year. Most student athletes are not permitted to have a job while on scholarship for their school, let alone have the time to work at a part-time job and keep up with their schoolwork on top of practices and meeting for the team. More than 35% of football players and 45% of basketball players come from impoverished communities living below the poverty line. Most of these athletes receive food stamps and welfare while under scholarship with these universities. And this expense is covered by the taxpayers' dollars, while their coaching staffs earn an excess of $15 million, with the head coach bringing in $6 to $8 million a year at a profitable school. Compensating these athletes will compensating these athletes will decrease the burden they place on taxpayers. As a result of not being compensated, athletes are not earning their degrees due to leaving school early to chase money at the professional level. More than 18% of football players and 22% of basketball players drop out of college to pursue professional careers in order to take care of their families. With that number jumping between 3% for minorities in football and 24% for minorities in basketball. The average success rate of being successful in the NFL for underclassmen, which means anyone that does not get their degree as a senior, is less than 12% in the NFL and even lower in the NBA at a success rate of just 8% for underclassmen. Paying these student athletes will lead to higher graduation rates, which in turn will help these athletes earn their degrees and in turn longer stability and leads to a better quality of life with the ability of having that degree. Not only is funding available to pay student athletes, I have given reasons why they deserve to be paid and how it could improve things with them. Let's review. College athletics have become big business in recent years, with profitable television deals between athletic companies and postseason tournaments bringing in millions of dollars, meaning the ability to pay student athletes is there. The average student athlete will see a shortfall in their scholarship while playing for their school. Paying these fees will cover the basic needs outside of tuition and room and board, and will only cost $22 million a year for the NCAA. That's a drop in the bucket compared to what the NCAA brings in total revenue per year. The idea of a student athlete being compensated by earning degrees is false, with almost 30% of underclassmen between the major sports of football, basketball, and baseball leaving school early to go pro to take care of family needs. Not paying these athletes isn't only unethical, it's also illegal. The kids are competing at a high level, placing themselves in danger of getting injured doing the same job as professional athletes. The only difference between them and the pros are 4 letters, the NCAA.
Done. 7 minutes, 30 seconds.